online or in class, this is what we got. Okay, now listen. I'm gonna go through this, and I want everybody to pay attention to this. Okay, I need everybody to know how to do this. So please stop talking for a minute. I really want to take some of the best pictures we've taken. Listen, and I want you to have a caption, and I want your logo on, because there are some really amazing pictures you all have. Okay, if you have any inclination of how to do the project, it's right there. But in this class, this is where we're at. Okay, this is how you do it. You put your last name, you put your first name, and then you give a 2-word description. Okay. I would also like to put this on the yearbook. Okay. So he did that. He put his logo on there, and then he did a caption. This is for your branding. Listen to me, ladies. Listen to me. Shh, shh, shh. Ladies, listen to me. This is for your caption purposes. Okay? So he did a really good job. You just got to have 5. Now look, here's how you post them. Just real quick. I'm going to go into student view. Everybody needs to be looking at the TV. Please don't look at your phone. Please don't look at your Chromebook right now. Please look at the TV. And everybody understands. You click on Start Assignment, and then instead of going to Google Drive, you click on File Upload. When you click that, you choose the files under your recents. So you need to download from Pixlr. Listen to me. This is how you need to do it. This is very simple. When you go to Pixlr.com, you choose Pixlr X, easiest one. Ladies, please stop talking. Please. For just 1 second. I don't ask you all to do that a whole lot, okay? You take the picture, all right? You go into your history or whatever, okay? And if there's nothing there, you don't log in. Every day you work on it, you need to save it, okay? So in this case, I'm going to go ahead and open whatever I've been working on. So let's say this is one of the ones I worked on, okay? Because I saved it. When you get done, you click save, and you save it as either one, PNG, JPEG, whatever. It's got a name, last name, first name, and 2-word explanation. Click download. And then there's that first one. And then you go to your next one. Okay? So I'm going to go back to my home. Then I'm going to go images. And I'm going to go back to my plus sign. I'm going to open image. Go to number 2. Create new. Let's say I'm done. Save. PNG. Last name, first name, 2-name explanation. And I'm going to go back and I'm going to delete what I don't want. I just want a 2-word explanation or just one. Okay. However you want to do it. Download. That's number 2. Okay. So after you get to 5, then that's when you go in here and you do what I just said. You click on choose file. And then I'm going to go into my downloads, or in your all's case, recents. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Open. Okay. And then when you submit, you should be good to go. You should have all 5 in there. There's no problem. Okay. Now, on the assignments, and this is for everyone, the outside photography unit, I'm just going to show you right now on your grades. Everybody's getting a 20, even the people at home. Okay, if you notice, everybody's got a 20. No matter what, I gave everyone a 20, and I'm going to do that right now for this class. Yeah, so that's done. So that is not a gimme. That's just where I gave you credit for just being a part of the project. Okay, just to make sure you all understand that process. Okay, because that you all are outside, even if you didn't take as many pictures, I still wanted you all to have credit for being a part of it because you did learn something. It wasn't just a waste of time. Okay. Now, the Google Doc of photography terms. A lot of you all haven't gotten that done. Okay, that is very simple. I'm not going to tell you how to use technology to get that done very quickly. You need to use your common sense. I didn't say you couldn't use a friend. I didn't say you couldn't work with a friend. Okay, but having it not done is just pure laziness. That is terms that we got our learning targets, we got our word wall, everything is there designed for what we need. Okay. All right. Let's go back to assignments. Oh, real quick. So as far as the terms, if you, wait a minute. As far as the terms, if you need the terms, here's a good example of one of your peers that did it all and did it right. Well, pretty much anybody who got a 20 out of 20. Okay. So let's go down here. Yeah, so here's a good example. We'll just use that as an example. Okay, pretty much did everything I asked him to do. There it is. Okay, you know you got it right if it's aperture to white balance. That is not a lot. We've not taken a lot of notes in this class. Don't be lazy. Get these things done. Get them done. Okay. Next assignment, and this is also for people at home. Okay, the Pixar practice. We talked about this yesterday. This is very simple. This is a practice for Pixar. This is a pre-project for what we're doing right now. Okay. Let's see. So here's a good example. We'll look at Janice's right here. And so she decided to do a different picture, which is fine. I just said if you wanted to use that lady, you could, but you didn't have to. She has a caption, she changed the background, and she put her logo. All right. Jocelyn put the lady in the middle and did her own thing. Now, I would love for you to put your logo because I wanted you to understand how you can add an additional image in Pixar. So, for example, let's say I want to put my logo here. Then what you would do is come over on the right and add a layer and click image. And that's where you would choose your logo and put the logo in, okay? And then resize it. Now, if you don't want all that white around the logo, what can you do? You go to remove BG and take all that white out. Okay, so again, I'm walking you through the process of how you can get a really good grade instead of just sitting around and not getting nothing done. So let me go to, let's see, I'm gonna upload an image and there it is. I don't want the white behind my logo because I want it just to be a logo. So what you see, the checkerboard, I'm gonna download that. And then I'm going to delete that and I'm gonna add let's say my logo wasn't there. So let's get rid of that. Well, you can't because I need to unlock it. Okay. Let's say I want to add another layer, image, and I'm going to choose my logo that I just downloaded. So let's see where it is. Download. I don't know if it's that one or not. Yeah, there it is. So you see how I did that. Now, the problem that I have with that logo is I'm going to have to put it somewhere that's in the white. So you might have to drop it right there. But if you notice, it looks a lot better than that one right there with the white box around it. It looks more clean. Okay, so that's what I wanted you all to see. I wanted y'all to understand it. Okay, so that's how you do the logo part. All right, and I will post this video on our canvas for everybody at home as well as people in class. All right, so let's go to the next project. All right, so that's Pixar practice. Okay, Adobe Flyer. If you want to know how to do the Adobe Flyer, there's the full demo. Here's the quick study. Okay, the Adobe Flyer is you go to Google and you click on Adobe Spark. Now you notice I'm not adding a bunch of stuff. I mean, I can keep adding projects, but I'm not because I got so many zeros. It's making my head spin. Okay, I don't want my head to spin. I need the zeros going. Don't sit around with your phone out with your Chromebook closed and not work. Okay, if you have zeros, just count on not having your phone out, because I'm gonna take it. I don't want your phone out if you got zeros. All right, so here's the flyer. You click the plus sign, you click on flyer. You choose a teacher. Choose a teacher on who you want to do. Okay, you can do yourself, but why not do a teacher? Because you potentially could have your logo being posted outside the door if you do a good job. Okay, I'm gonna click right here. I'm gonna click on photos, upload photos. Now, right here, this says pictures. People say, Mr. McGuire, where can I get a picture of the teacher I want to do? Well, there you go. So there's a picture of all the teachers. If you don't like those pictures, you may have to work with a teacher yourself to do that. Okay? So let's say I'm doing Miss Thompson. And the reason I'm choosing that is because it's a little bit better quality. All these other pictures, you cannot make them larger because they'll pixelate and it won't look good when you print it out. Okay? So there's Miss Thompson downloaded. Okay, so now I'm going to upload that photo. You will see her in my downloads. In your all's case, it's in your recents. So there's Miss Thompson, there, right there. Okay, now the cool thing is I can make that a little bit larger because you really kind of want to make it larger. All right, so let me center that. And by centering it, you'll see the grid lines. Okay, now also I can take it and make it a little bit more opaque where you can still see her, or if you don't want it to be opaque, you don't have it to be opaque. Then the next thing you're going to do is you're going to go in here and add your text. All right, so let's say I'm going to go to everything will be okay, and I'm going to add my text, and it's going to say Mrs. Thompson. Okay, and then let me move that up, and let's make it bigger just in case. I'm going to change the color scheme. Now, there's your hex color. So let's say you want it to be Crawford's color. 00B 050. Okay, I don't like that font, so let's change the font. Okay, you change it to where it looks good. All right, let's find a font that we like. Let's see. All right, so that looks good. Actually, I don't like that either. Let me find something that I'm thinking in terms of what font will look good outside our classroom. Okay, there we go. So I'm gonna make that bigger. That's a good font. It's very legible. You can read it very well. It's nice. And if you space it out correctly, there you go. Then you only have one line on Mrs. Thompson, and you can use your space for other things. So I'm gonna hit the arrow to nudge. So that's on top. Good stuff. Then I'm gonna move her up a little bit, just a smidge. And then now you're going to use the space around it. Oh, I made a mistake. Control Z. There it is. Now I'm going to do some stuff around it. So I'm going to use my icons or my design assets. Okay, so in this case, let's use some icons. So she's an ELA teacher. So I'll put English and see what comes up. Okay, so I'm going to drop that in there. Okay, that's English. And I'm going to go in there and change it to, let's say with our same theme. So we're going to change it to 00B 050. That is my hex color for my icon. Okay, so I'm going to drop that right there. If you notice, you got your grid lines to make sure everything looks good. Then I'm going to go back to icons and I'm going to type in language arts and see what that says. Okay. That doesn't say anything, so we'll just leave it as English right there. Okay, then you're going to talk about like if you wanted to do whatever. I mean, I don't care what you do. Let's see. If you wanted to put when she first started teaching, I can go education. Okay, I could drop that in there. All right. Again, I want to stay with my same design. We'll drop it in there. And what I'm going to do is whatever hex color it is going to be, you keep it as such. Okay. And then I'm going to go in and add a text. Let's say she started teaching in, I don't know, let's say 2016. Okay. You know, I'm going to do that there. Okay. And then beside that, you might put like a picture of Crawford or a picture of a cougar or whatever you want to use. And when she starts teaching at Crawford, you know, kind of give you an idea. So you can use design assets as well. You want to throw a butterfly in there. If that's what, say she likes butterflies, you're going to drop a butterfly in there, whatever. Okay. You can change the background color, edit background. Let's drop it. Let's say, what does it look like? Black. All right, that looks okay. Well, what does it look like? Blue. Blue's a complementary color. There you go. Just got to be careful. Now, maybe I'm going to go in here to Miss Thompson and drop down to my effects and create a shadow, because now it's on a blue background. So I'm going to create a shadow so I can see all that stuff. So it makes sense. Okay. So I'm doing shadows, and you notice where it's see-through. All right. So that's good. All right, so let's change that a little bit. So now you got Miss Thompson, 2016. She likes butterflies. So I would move that to like, you know, maybe right here on top of the picture, you know. So that's the kind of process I'm talking about with a logo, or excuse me, with your flyer. Now, with your logo, yes, you want to put that on there. So what am I going to do? I'm going to go to Photos. I'm going to upload my photos. And where I just did my logo on Remove BG, there's my logo. So I got to figure out where I'm going to put it. So it's going to go over top of everything. Okay, so that's the process of that. So there's my logo. I'm going to make it smaller. What I need to do is move those design assets. I would make your logo a little bit smaller than everything else. And then there's one other feature. If you want, there's your like layers. If you want to change a layer order and you want to drop something in front, if you want it to be behind it, all the way behind it, you can. Okay. But in this case, I'm going to leave the English like it is. Okay. So there's a good example of that. When you get done, you download it. JPEG, start download, boom, there it is. Then you turn it in. So that now it's downloaded right there. 1 second, I'm losing my picture here. Bear with me, guys. All right, guys, so the next project that we're going to look at is the MP4 project. Again, everything is in assignments under in your Canvas, and then you have a demonstration, but this is the quick version. So basically what you're going to do on the MP4 is you're going to click plus, and you're going to go to video. Now, this is very important because this is all about you. You're going to do a teacher shout out. So remember, we said I am, and then you put your name. So in my case, I'm going to put my name. Okay, and I'm not going to go through the whole demonstration because you can do that on the Canvas, but I'm going to go ahead and click on show and tell. So it gives you, 5 to 7 slides that you can use. Now, please go to the demonstration on my YouTube channel from the Canvas. The YouTube channel button is on my Canvas page. Okay, so you all have gone through this, but just real quick, remember, you're going to go in here, like I'm going to do a split screen, and then you might come in here and do a photo of yourself. Now, one quick connection here is make a connect to your Google Drive. And by doing that, you allow them to access, or allow Google to access your photos. So I've just done that. Very simple to do. All you have to do is follow these steps, and you can really make it what you want it. And I've told students, why not, do something for a family member past or present, or whatever the case may be. So now that is connected, and I'm going to go back to my Google Drive. In that case, I'm just going to find an image. So in this case, let's say I'm going to do something at Spirit Week. So let me go to our pictures, CMS Pictures, and let's go to Spirit Week. So I know exactly where those pictures are because I've saved them. So today is, let's go to the Hat Day pictures. All right, so let's say I want to do a focus on Hat Day. All right, so I'm going to do that right there and click select. So that picture is going to go in there, and you can manipulate that picture. And then you're going to come in here and hit plus and do some text, so you can say Hat Day at Crawford Middle School. Okay, and then you can go in here and you can manipulate what the font looks like, the color of the font, the hex color, all that good stuff. Okay, so it's really cool, and you can even make it smaller or larger. All right, so let's come over to theme and mess around with that. If you want to, you can change the theme however you want. Okay, so if I change it to that, maybe a green theme, then that's going to give it some green tones, and it's going to maintain the consistency. Now, if you want this slide to be a little bit longer, remember it's got to, you make it a little bit longer. And I'm going to press play. It's got music already in it. Now, I would recommend when you're doing, you all have to do a voiceover. So if there's text, you need a voiceover. So I'm going to drop the music down a little bit. I'm going to go Stroll in Central Park. And if you want to add your own music, you can. So in this case, I'm going to hit this button and say Hat Day at Crawford Middle School. Okay, then I'm going to test it. Hat Day at Crawford Middle School. So that's slide number 1. Okay, so then I'm going to go slide number 2, and I'm going to go more photos. So I'm going to connect it to, I've connected it to my Google Drive. So there's a bunch of teachers and a bunch of students. So if I wanted to do multiple, then I'm going to do multiple teachers there. That way it'll add to it, and you can do all kinds of things. You can make a collage using Pixlr if you want to. In this case, there's Miss Tool right there, but I need to make her smaller, so I need to go back and delete that, and I want to go back and edit so I can do more than one. So if you want to do a split screen, let's say you want to do multiple teachers, or if I wanted to do multiple teachers. Now, in your all's case, you have to do a teacher shout out. You have to do something with your family. And let's go back and look at the canvas. You need to make sure that when you go to the canvas, you go to assignments and you figure out exactly what is required from the project. So this is where all the stuff is, okay? And it walks you through it. And these are the things you'll need: a shout out, do a tech tip, add music. You'll need 5 to 6 slides, add pictures and/or video. And last and most important, please give credit on the last slides. What I mean by that is, like, for example, Miss Brumley looked like she took this picture. So in the very end, you're going to give credit. So you'll say something to the effect of photo credits, and then you'll say Mrs. Brumley, let's say Mrs. Green, Mr. Jones, whoever. Okay, whoever took the pictures. All right, that's what you need to do. Okay, so then I'm going to go back to this. And I'm going to add something else. Now, again, remember, you all are doing this part. That's what you're doing. Okay. So if you want to do a shout out to a teacher, you go in here and find your photos. Let's say I'm giving a shout out to Mr. Arnold. So I'm going to put his picture right there. And then right here, I'm going to go in and say, I like Mr. Arnold's class because we compete with each other, and he plays music and makes, we spell it right. That's another thing. Make sure your grammar is good. Make sure your spelling is perfect. He plays with an S, music, and we have fun. Okay, so there it is. Now, again, anytime you have text, you need to do the voiceover. I like Mr. Arnold's class because we compete with each other. And now I messed that up, so I'm going to redo it. I like Mr. Arnold's class because we compete with each other, and he plays music and we have fun. Simple enough. I'm going to test it. I like Mr. Arnold's class because we compete with each other and he plays music and we have fun. So again, it can't be more than a minute, can't be less than 30 seconds. So let's start from the beginning and see what it looks like. Hat Day at Crawford Middle School. I like Mr. Arnold's class because we compete with each other and he plays music and we have fun. Okay, so there's some things you can do there with it. It's really cool in that sense. Let me close out of that. So again, you change your settings right there. That you do your narration, you do your however you want to do it. I can flip those to where the text is on one side and Mr. Arnold's on the other side. It really is cohesive to what you want. Now, if you wanted to add some video, you could add video to it, but in this case, I'm not going to add any video to the project. Last but not least, let's say you're done with it. You click download and it's automatically going to be an MP4 file. That's why I named it Adobe MP4. As you see right here, it's an Adobe MP4. Okay. So I'm going to let it save for a minute. It's taking a second. So let's wait until it's finished. So this is where you're just going to kind of be patient and just kind of wait around to make sure that everything's downloaded correctly. On the Chromebook, you're going to see where it will download to your recents. Okay. All right, so that's done. So you see right here, that's where mine is. So in your case, it'll be in your recents. So you're going to go right here. I'm going to go to student view so I can show you the process of submitting it, start assignment, and then you're going to do a couple things. You can, it'll be in your Google Drive as an MP4. In my case, I'm going to keep it right here. I'm going to choose file, and it's in my download somewhere. And I'm not sure where it is. Let's say here it is. I am Jeremy McGuire, MP4, open. Now remember, you can only upload an MP4 file. Okay, it says file types can only be an MP4, and there's no other way you can do that. And then I'm going to submit, and then you're done. Then I go and grade it. Okay, so that's the process of the MP4. Now let's go back to assignments, and I already went over everything else. Let's look at creating a logo. Okay, create a logo. That's how to create a logo if you want to learn. But the quick way is I'm going to go back to my home. I'm going to click on plus. I'm going to go to custom graphic. I'm going to go to popular and square. Just real quick. Not really trying to, recreate the wheel in that sense. Now all you're going to do is create a logo. Now this is where you're going to take some time. Now I've done this a lot, so it won't take me very much time. So I'm going to add my text. So I'm going to just put a J and hit done. Okay, so this is where you're going to create a logo. This is where you're going to do your style. Take some time. Remember, you can mess with a hex color. I'm going to use Crawford's Green 00B 050 or any other hex color. And for that note, while we're talking about the hex color, just go and use your Google to see what hex colors you want to use. If you like a certain color, type in, let's say, I'm a Bengals fan, so I'm going to say Bengals hex color. Okay, and it's going to show me the Cincinnati Bengals hex color. So there's the hex color Cincinnati Bengals. So let's say I want to use that. I'm just going to copy that very simply and go in here and double click that and copy the hex color of the Bengals. So that is the orange that the Bengals use. Obviously, it looks a little darker than what I'm used to, but that's fine. That's what they're saying it uses. Then I'm going to go on here and check with the font. So let's say we're going to use it's a font that you can read, which let's try that one. Okay. Then I'm going to duplicate that one, and I'm going to put my last initial. So I'm going to go M and done. Okay. I'm going to keep it the same. Now, what I've got to figure out is how can I tie these together? And this actually works really well, and it really ties together great for my name. Okay. So let's say that's what we're going to use. All right. So in this case, I'm going to keep it like that. I'm going to, select them all and move them down. I'm going to hit the shift button and arrow and move them down. Okay. So let's say, I'm working on it and I'm doing a lot of different things. Sometimes a logo can be simplistic. Sometimes a logo can be more, more difficult. So let's say I want to add, my last
part of my last name. So let's say I want to go McGuire. So let's go lowercase c, and then I want to drop that, say I might go MC like that, to kind of give it a little, a little flair, and I might just leave it like that. It's Jeremy McGuire. Okay. So I'm going to leave it like that. Now, there's a lot of things you can do with it. You can go in here, you can add your shapes. You can, so if I want to do a shape, it does a shape around it. I would recommend, you can do some shadows and all that cool stuff, but remember you can go in here and change, your logo. And we talk about complementary colors, so if, let's say if you want to know what are, just pull up the color wheel, figure it out, color wheel, complementary colors. They're right there. We're in tech class. Use your tech class skills. We talked about this in class. Colors are opposite. So yellow and purple, green and red, blue and orange. So like in this case, I've got orange. So a complementary color is blue. So let's just pull a blue out. And that's the blue. I don't want to do that. I want to do the background. So I'm going to click on that, and I'm going to go to the shadow, and I'm going to choose a blue. Or a type of blue, let's say. Let's click on it again. And so let's say we're going to use, let's look at X color blue. Try that. Say I want to use UK blue. So like UK blue. I don't know if it'll give me the Wildcats or not. So let's go to all. And here's the color codes of the Kentucky Wildcats. So you go in there and figure out what your Kentucky codes are, whatever the case may be. So there's the hex color, and it is right there. I'm going to copy it. Control C. Go back to my logo. And boom. There's my UK color. So it is complementary. There's my hex color. And that's where you can get it exactly like you want. Okay. I can do some effects. I can do the color scheme itself. So there's a lot of things that can be done with that, if you just follow the directions, so now there you go. Now, one thing I don't like is I don't like how dark that orange is. So I'm going to brighten it up a little bit. Now here's the easy way. I'm going to brighten it up. Looks more like Florida Gators. I'm going to go in here and I'm going to copy the hex color that I just changed. And the reason I'm doing that is because I want to make sure that my M is exactly like my J. There it is. And then I want to make sure my C is exactly like my M. Hex color, there it is. So I'm just copying and pasting. So that, to me, that looks better. So now I'm going to download it as a PNG. Okay. And I want to make it a transparent PNG. Okay. And here's why. When I make it a transparent PNG, when you open it up, you see there's not a background, but I did one major flaw. I didn't name it. So I want to go in here and go last name, first name. I just call it logo. That way you always know when you download it, it's your logo. There it is. So that way you can find it. Okay. The next thing I want to do is I'm going to go to remove BG to make sure that there's no white around. Okay. You can either drop it and drag it or upload the file. So it's going to have my logo there. And if you see the checkerboard, you know that it is downloadable as a true transparent PNG. Okay. And then now there's your logo. So what you'll use your logo for is everything else. Okay. So I'm going to click on it and there's one style. I'm going to click on it. There's another style. So you make sure that you always put your logo in your Google Drive. And in my case, I'm going to put it there, but also understand that if you go back to your home, you can always find it in your logos. And one other thing is you can go and start to create folders. Like, for example, I've got a logo folder here where I have all my logos that I've created over the years, that I can always access. So you don't always have to put everything in your drive, but in this case, I can move it over there and do all that stuff. I can do, like, say I want to do something else, I can duplicate it and make a copy. I have the original, so on and so forth. So that is an example of how to do